everyone, I hope y'all are having a great day, and today I'll be reviewing The Well of Ascension, the second book in the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. And if you clicked on this video without having read any Mistborn books, I want you to stay for a while. Let's take a quick quiz. Question 1. Do you like fascinating, well-developed characters? Question 2. Do you like being surprised by a book's plot? And question 3, do you like experiencing extremely epic stories that play with your emotions and leave you in awe of the book? If your answer to any of those 3 questions was yes, pick this trilogy up. It's really that simple. I know it's easy to ignore recommendations of a book. I ignored recommendations of this trilogy for like a year before I picked it up, so I know people are going to ignore me when I say read this book, but I'm going to say it anyway. Read this book. Read this trilogy. It's so well done. I honestly cannot fathom how Brandon Sanderson does the things he does. It's a little bit scary how good he is. Go read Mistborn if you haven't already. Please, I don't think you'll regret it. Okay, so Well of Ascension is the second book in the trilogy, so I'm not going to go into a synopsis. For the first 3/4 of this novel or so, I really liked it, but I thought I liked Mistborn the Final Empire a little bit better. But now that I've finished, now that I've experienced 2 Brandon avalanches, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know how to function, let alone choose the better of 2 incredible books. Well of Ascension is fantastic, maybe even more so than Mistborn the Final Empire. If you haven't read up to Well of Ascension, I'm going to advise you to leave now because I don't want you to be spoiled, not even a little bit, for anything Brandon Sanderson writes. So, goodbye. Okay, let's discuss the details of Well of Ascension. This book left me just as emotionally drained as Mistborn the Final Empire did, even though no character equivalent to Kelsier died. I'm more shocked than anything else at the end of this book. Vin's like, let me save the world and sacrifice the opportunity to save my husband's life so that I can help the people. And then she's like, I just unleashed this terrible force onto the world. Great. I'm a little confused as to what went on at the very end with Ellen being saved and then turning into a Mistborn. I'm not quite sure what happened there because at that point I was just reading so fast I needed to know what happened next. I guess like the metal nugget that Vin forced Ellen to swallow turned him into a Mistborn? Question mark. I'm not really sure. It was so weird. Let's talk about the Hero of Ages and defeating the Deepness. Right now, it seems that all the signs are pointing to Vin as the Hero of Ages and to the Mists as the Deepness. Maybe that's right, but it seems too obvious. If there's one thing I've learned about Brandon Sanderson, it's that he takes extreme pleasure in doing the unexpected. So as much as I would love for Vin to be the Hero of Ages, and I really would love that because I love Vin, I'm gonna guess that it's not really her. It's like everyone thought Alendi was the Hero of Ages, and then Quan started having doubts and was like, wait, no. That's not right. I feel like it's the same situation about Vin. So if the Hero of Ages isn't Vin, and it very well might not be Vin, my second guess would be Zed. Maybe that sounds a little silly, but he's just extremely powerful. He saves Vin when she can't even save herself. And I know Brandon Sanderson really likes his character, so I want to guess that maybe Zed is the real hero, but of course, I'm probably wrong. What's even the point of theorizing when it comes to Brandon Sanderson's books? Because I'm always wrong. Also, the theory of the Deepness actually being the Mists has been suggested, I think, since the very first book. Maybe the Deepness is the Mist, but again, that doesn't really seem like the Sanderson way to go. I really appreciated Vin and Ellen's relationship in this book. It was tumultuous and a little bit angsty, but not without reason. In the beginning, I was kind of reminded of Tristan Tobias and Insurgent in the way that they kept on keeping secrets from each other, especially Vin. But Vin and Ellen are so much more functional than Triss and Tobias ever were. Brandon Sanderson kind of just threw Zane in there to shake things up, but also so that Vin would have to solidify her feelings. Vin and Ellen getting married. It was very cute. It was very cute. I loved Vin, as usual. I love how conflicted she was, how uncomfortable she was with the idea that she was being used as a weapon, and her eventual acceptance of her role, realizing that her weapon-like position could be used to augment good things instead of bad. It was a little bit frustrating to have her think that she wasn't good enough for Ellen when Vin is the best character, one of the best characters in the trilogy. But it's also understandable, and I don't blame her. It was also frustrating that she was so quick to dismiss Al Riand Even though she's had experience with how manipulative a woman of court can be, Vin, of all people, should understand that you can't underestimate someone because of their appearance. However, despite Vin's flaws, or maybe because of them, she is my favorite character in this book. I just love her strength and her abilities, as well as her vulnerability and internal conflict. She's crazy talented, and I really want to know why she can do things that other people can't, and I'm sure we'll get the answers in the next book, Hero of Ages, but I'm impatient. Elend also developed remarkably in this installment, and much of that is probably credited to Tindwyl. At the very start of the novel, I could barely handle Elend as king. He just seemed so unprepared for the throne. It was interesting to see him gain confidence, and obviously the most admirable thing about Elend is his absolute devotion to the people and maintaining moralistic values in the government, whether or not he has a crown on his head. However, I'm going to be real and say that I don't like the fact that he was turned into a Mistborn at the end. I liked the way that Vin and Elend were so different. And now that Elend is a Mistborn like Vin, no. That's a no from me. Maybe Hero of Ages will change my mind on that. Zane was such an interesting addition to the cast of characters. I was constantly confused about him, where his alliances fell, the insanity that he was grappling with, his relationship with Straff, and also his relationship with Vin. I'm gonna admit I shipped Vin and Zane for like maybe 0.2 seconds because come on, there's always a little temptation in those that are dark. Zane was like Elend's foil. He's dangerous and strong. More like Kelsier than he is like Elend. And at first I thought maybe I liked him, but then he creeped me out a lot. I never knew whether I could trust what he was saying, and that was so frustrating. When Zane finally attempted to murder Vin because she declined to go away with him, that battle was so intense. It's probably one of the highlights for me in this book. I was so nervous for Vin, even though I knew that she would make it out alive. That's the thing about these books I've realized. The reason I'm so emotionally drained after reading them is because Brandon Sanderson forces me to worry about his characters. I feel nervous for them inside my gut, like reading these books has a physical impact on me. I was a mess during Zane and Vin's fight. It was really disturbing when Zane was like, you know, it's not enough for me to brutally attack you. Let me sexually assault you as well and kiss you when I'm trying to murder you. Okay, and why is it that Zane isn't insane at all? And why is it that the voice in his head didn't want him to kill Vin? And why the heck, how the heck does he have a spike in him and he's not like an inquisitor? What? I'm so confused. I actually love him as a character, but not as a person. And definitely not as a love interest. Speaking of that last battle with Zane though, let's take a moment to talk about the plot twist there with Orsur. The Wolfhound wasn't Orsur at all. It was actually Tensoon. I loved seeing Vin and Tensoon's relationship, I guess, develop throughout the whole book, and I like how Tensoon kind of betrayed his contract to save Vin's life. Okay, moving on to Sazed. Oh, Sazed, that brave soul. I love him. If he ends up being the Hero of Ages, that's completely fine with me. He's really a lot stronger than people give him credit for. I like the way he acts as a counselor to Vin and Elend. I thought it was really funny when Vin came in to ask him about relationships, and right after she left, Elend also came in to ask him about relationships. I really liked his relationship with Tindwyl. I didn't realize how much I liked that relationship until I was left crying when Tindwyl told Sazed that he was the kind of man that she studied. That was so sweet. Maybe this makes me a bad person, but I only liked Tindwyl in her relationship to Sazed, so when she died, I didn't really feel that sad. I only felt sad because Sazed felt sad about it, if that makes any sense. Anyway, I think Sazed is going to play a pretty large role in the next book, regardless of whether he's the hero or not. I do want to acknowledge the deaths of Clubs and Dachshund, even though I personally wasn't very attached to them, so I wasn't that sad when they died. I'm sure we'll feel the effects of their death in the next book, just like we felt the gaping hole that Kelsier's absence left in this book. Also, Clubs was Spook's uncle, so I'm sure that'll play in, maybe. Brandon Sanderson is just an absolute artist with his plot twists. Even though he dropped clues about the changes and discrepancies in the prophecies, and he gives us those snippets at the beginning of each chapter. By the way, I forgot to mention that in my Mistborn review, but I love that. I love the way he incorporates a story within a story and then somehow weaves the two together by the end of the book. The way Elendi fit the prophecy too well, the way Sazed's rubbing changed, it all led to the huge plot twist at the end of the book, but I was still shocked. I can't even explain how I felt. Just empty, like Brandon Sanderson had stolen all my energy from me through his avalanche plot. I have no idea what Vin released. I just know that it's something really, really bad. I know it's going to be a huge issue. It's already controlling Marsh. I still have no clue what that mist figure is trying to accomplish, though I guess it's not as malicious as Vin initially thought. I don't know. What even is the point of making theories in this book? I'm gonna be wrong. Like, at this point, I'm just going along for the ride. Oh, but one last theory, just for the heck of it. There must be some more significance to Vin's earring. Maybe I'm just making things up, pulling things out of thin air, but the earring might mean something more, might do something more than we know at this moment. I'm always so scared when I say theories because people who've already read the trilogy are gonna be like, Sophia, what are you even thinking? I don't know, actually. I don't know what I'm thinking. Oh, and this is a random comment that I wanted to say, but I didn't know where to fit it in. I couldn't take Alrianne seriously when she would refer to Breeze as Breezy, because all I could think about was Chris Brown. Okay, so that's it for me. Well of Ascension, absolutely brilliant, brilliantly insane. This book is cray, but I loved it so much. These books leave me so exhausted, but also very in awe of Brandon Sanderson. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and happy reading. Goodbye!